Hey guys, this is Kiro speaking, and today we are back on my desktop background because today is judging time and Photoshop is right here in front of me, which you can't see just yet. We are going to judge or start judging the 1955 Jupiter Callisto, and there have been loads of really good entries. 23 I believe there are, and maybe 22. No, doesn't matter. There are good entries in here, and people have upped their game since last time. Some of you have not upped their skills in submitting the entries. It's still pretty atrocious in some cases, like sending me tiny pictures because they put it in line instead of attaching the image. Yeah, that's not great. 538 pixels wide is not enough. Or others who just simply don't name their pictures whatsoever. So it's just a number salad. Yeah, beautiful. Anyway, I have closed both eyes to these kind of awful things happening. And this is your very last chance. Your very last chance at following the rules for the competition. From here on out, in the third category and onwards, I'm going to hard enforce the rules. There is no mercy from that point on. You've been warned, and now let's get into some really nice work by all of you. So, Photoshop open, and here we have our first contestant. It is Ben Fiction, and that is requires some effing, not F off, but effing. There, exactly. Full screening. And okay, what do we have here? Design-wise, the front is looking decent, and has kind of the standard setup. Seems to have some decent lines. Ah, yeah, you can see my mouse pointer too, so that's great. The grille, yeah, it kind of works. The bumper bar, which is very prominent here, the thick. Not upper lip, lower lip, and otherwise I can't really tell anything. The rear is quite boring. It just looks functional, and that's it. A bit blobby. The taillights, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, that doesn't captivate. That's a little bit of a shame. Anyway, let's talk about the photo. Creative for sure. I think it fails at delivering. Like, it has not that much optical impact. It's very central, very symmetrically composed, but most of the image isn't actually used for anything. And that is a little odd. Also, why these white bars along the side? Some weird effect. The night effect, the darkness effect with the lit lights, I am not a fan of that necessarily, not the way it's done here. Well, it kind of works for the headlights. It's not too bad. It's really hard to pull off though. So, what is this scene supposed to be? It's like this car trying to eat this one or smash into it, or I don't think this picture sells the car. It's more like a weird action agent movie film. So anyway, design. Not convinced. The front is okay. 4.5, and the picture itself a 5. And as you might have noticed, we do have a little bit of a new format in place, and that is that I'm going to spend up to like 5 minutes on the really good entries and a little bit of less time on the other ones. You had been voting on my poll I posted on my channel, and that seems to be by far the most popular option. So let's go with that. And here we have the entry by a new contestant, CDOI. Hello there, good sir. Let's take a look at your car and zoom in a bit. That is a quite nice design. I like it. It looks a bit more brutal in the front, but classy in a way. I do like the little grills here. Just add that little bit of touch that makes it less square And we have the blinkers in there, nice badging, the side vent, very nicely lined up windscreen wipers, and this is the convertible option. This all looks really good. I like it. So this to me is that's a good design, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, the nice little chrome line along the side. I think this is 6.5. It doesn't smash me in the face with like, oh, this is so awesome, but it's a really good design. So 6.5 for you right there. The picture is an odd one. The lighting is very good. Very good lighting, very high highlight lighting. And I don't have my pen. No, I do. Do I have my color? Yes, I do. Okay. So what is working here is the general setup of the car. What I'm really worried about is your sanity, though. Why would you place a sports car in the middle of some weird field? That is not its natural habitat. Even if you say that this is some kind of wild cat that is chasing its prey or something, that is... It looks kind of abandoned. If it weren't so polished, it would look abandoned. I don't think that's a great look for it, but very, very nice. Like, it would be so good if this were another car, maybe an off-roader or something, almost a little romantic. Yeah, I mean, technically and compositionally, the image is really good, but I highly doubt the motive is right for the car. So I think you get a -1 there for the choice of theme where you put the car, but the rest of the image is just... I think the rest of the image is a 7, so you get a 6, and that puts you in a pretty good spot. All right, this is the the fail. One of the submission fails. If you send me this at 100% with a white bar on the side, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with it. All right? Get your act together, mate. Kilgorio. And let's load in the one you fortunately posted quite a long time ago in the forums, in the thread of the competition. So I pulled it out of there, and there we have your entry. All right? All right, this is that is last chance. Next time I'm going to judge the shitty version. All right, so what do we have here? Design-wise, I quite like it. Has a striking front, lots of angles going on. Neat look. Not so sure about the hood. The hood scoop, that is. The sides are looking fancy. That's quite nifty. Windscreen wipers, blinkers down the side. This is maybe a little square. I would have expected some kind of other edging for that, although you have a repeat of the squareness over here. Overall, I quite like it. Badging nicely done. Very simple, but nicely done. I really like the line with the blinker. The blinker might be too large. I think you could have scaled that one down a bit. Overall, I think the design is pretty strong. It's a good design. It's a 6. And now for the picture, the photo taking. Compositionally, I mean, this is a straight up simple shot, but one that works. The lighting, I think, is, even though the picture is super dark, I think the lighting has some nuance to it. It's not too bad. I'm not a fan of the flat tires. You should have chosen a place which isn't buggy, or at least kind of press the replace car button or something that moves the car and places it on the ground better. Yeah, I think... give me a second. I think this is one of those images which has all the stuff you need in order to make it a little better. This is a non-edited version, so let me do a quick edit. Alright, getting a little closer. So right now we are at before, after. this. So just working out some of the details. Now let's see what we can do in... So that was a quickly applied... Oh, damn it. Didn't want to do that. I want to add another one of these. And let's see what else we can do. If we... Nope. That is the wrong category. Garrob. No, luminance. Okay, yes. Let's see if there's some more potential highlighting in the paint. Looks like it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that can stay about there. Overall, as you can see, a little bit of editing sure has worked. If we take it to here, this is my version of it, and that is the original. I think you can clearly see that there's a bit more impact in the latter, not in this one. So, but yeah, I think it's a decent shot. Yeah, but it's very dark, very dark. Maybe a 5.5, right in the middle. Yeah, it has potential, but it needed some work. And that was Kilgorio, just to make sure that we got that said. And now, next one, please. And next up is Architecton. And there we have quite the striking image. Quite the striking image. Do I have my pointer? Yes, I do. All right. So what do we think about the design? I'm still a little struck by the image itself, but the design. Let's have a look. Can we see the design? Can we discern the design? First things first. I think this red paint on the red card doesn't quite work. The lines down here, down that way, seem a little busy. Like this triple line down there, and having one line up there, maybe a little much. That stuff on the back, maybe a little much, but very solid otherwise. I think he went overboard slightly with this design, but very solid. The it's so hard. This is hard to pull off on the body that has a pre-made slot for the headlight, which already is round. It's so weird with the kind of lip sticking out there. But yeah, all right. I quite like the design though. There's some good craftsmanship on display here, and yeah, I think the back is interesting. It's a little too much, but it is interesting. This looks like a more in-your-face kind of American-style version of the Jupiter. Yeah, not bad. What do we think? I think it's a good design. It could have been a 7 with a little toned down. It would probably have been a 7 to me, but this is good stuff. So that's a 6. And for the picture, it's an unedited version. Quite nice. Very well done to get the lighting this way in Automation itself already. Has become a pretty powerful tool. And the scenery, I think, works pretty well. How the cars are set up, nice gap there without seemingly having them too separated. It nicely shows off the features. The angles are well chosen. The slight amount of stance in here, like the attitude from the wheel not being entirely straight, works really well. They are supposedly in motion, which I don't know if that is required to make this image look good or not. Seems a little odd, especially because they both are turning at this point and in opposite directions, which is also weird. But lighting, highlighting, catching onto the sides, really nice, like the roof lines and so on, this stuff here. This all has very nice lighting and reflections. Sky, quite well controlled for the highlights. Did you use your some kind of gradient filter there? You might have. Or the time of day is so late that they don't completely bomb out the dynamic range. But I very much like the line being visible down here. It gives the image a strong sense of direction from the start, and the cars really sit nicely in that. There's not much to really fault with this composition or the lighting. It's a beautiful scenery, good designed car, nice lighting. Yeah, there's not much wrong with that. I think this image might be a 7.0, 7.5. I think it is a very good... Oh, this is so hard. 7.5. It's a really good image. You might be wondering what the hell is going on with the ordering in this competition. Well, that is people fucking up their submissions and not naming things correctly. So they end up in an all jumbled order of things. Very, very upsetting to OCD people. Fortunately, I'm not too OCD. I'm just like, I like when people follow the rules of the competition. So let's see here. That is a return from ARN38FR. And what do we have here? Where's the car? Where's the car? Oh, there's the car. Over there. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it now. It was well camouflaged and not in the place where you'd expect. But we get to that very soon, composition-wise and stuff. So, design. A little bit of a muscle car. Almost. Looks a little muscly to me. Yeah, not a bad look for sure. I like the setup with the blinkers, main lights, secondary lights in the grille. It looks powerful that way. It looks powerful. The bumper bar, nicely placed. The side vent there, blinkers on the side as well. Yeah, it's just all around solid. And a little bit of an accent down the side of the car as well. And that is a solid design. It's more than solid. I think it's a good design. Yeah, let's go with the good design. This is a 6. Are we dishing out too high scores here? This is almost like that. Now this is good. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff, guys. That is really, really nice design so far. Now for the image. So if we place a line down the center of the image, almost center, I didn't quite hit it, but yeah. So you have focused, the road is just your symmetry line, right? And that symmetry line makes you expect the same, well, because this is a strong mirror line, expects you to have the same there as there. And that is a really nice touch, that you break the symmetry mostly with the object that people are supposed to be looking at, which of course is the car. I think as a technique, photo technique or compositional technique, that is working pretty well. Although, what you also get is that the car is moving out of the picture like this. So it's like you go in here, oh, nice symmetry, and then bam, car. And then whoosh, eyes are gone out of the image because they're following along with the car. So the optical, or the visual impact of the image is a little hampered by that. But I think it's a very artistic way of composing the shot. So that is a plus. I do like your lighting in here. It's a little too saturated, maybe. I think in the non-edited version you sent, that is, I found it a bit more nuanced and nice looking. But it's neither here nor there. It's fine. Yeah, overall, pretty good composition. I think you could have used a little bit less sky, like about that much less, like this little bit here, this line, like less sky, more foreground, so that the car moves up in the image a little bit. That would, yeah, there's not the sky isn't adding much to it at this point. While seeing some more foreground works, but on the other hand, I can see why you wanted to do it, because you have the white line emerging from the corner. That is one of the tricks you can do when taking photos of cars, that you have strong lines coming out of the corners leading to the car, which in this case they don't really do, but they still support the image. Now I think if you had composed it a little differently, maybe that this point instead moves over there to one of the double golden ratio points, in the image, and then give this more of a breather. Maybe by moving this one up slightly, and still having that line then as a consequence, because you've moved this, the line still come out of the corner, but this has some more room to go, then maybe that would have been better. I would have liked to see that at least. But anyway, it's a good shot. It's a good shot, but not more than a good shot. It is odd. It's artistic, but I don't think it quite works. It's a 6. I think it's a good one. And here we have our entry by Cake Ape. Also a new one. Yeah, new contestant has arrived. And Cake Ape has delivered something that looks pony-esque. Yeah, quite pony-esque. I'm not so sure about the design. Has some of the standard lines. It doesn't look very prestigious, which you would argue that, well, Logitech Sports isn't really that prestigious. So I think that's probably fair. I'm not certain if this is a good look. The kind of deeply indented grill with this metal bar in the middle going along. I think that takes too much focus away from the design when looked at an angle. But otherwise, I think the setup here is fine. You have some nice details here for the hood. And on the sides, there's a little vent, the line along there, wing mirrors, fuel cap stuff. Something on the roof, double hood on the roof or something. Windscreen wipers. It's a very complete design. I don't quite like the front. Maybe it's the grill that makes it look so busy down here. That's taking too much away from the face. But not sure. Doesn't quite click for me, sir. But I still think that is a solid design. You get a 5 for that. And now the picture itself. Alright, here we have an example of a more settled composition. We have kind of an angle being... oh, that was a little bit slidey. That's a lot of an angle. An angle being produced here, which is nice. The face and the wheels are pointing from going forwards and down, which would get you down towards the corner here. And there's nothing there. They bump you back up and let you follow along with the front of the car. I think that works really, really nicely. So that is well done. Very settled because there's plenty of space where the car is looking. And that works. It always works. It's a low-risk composition. The coloring. I see that it's a night picture, but this just doesn't work for me. Because there's so much different tones in it. It's a cool looking shot. It's kind of an alien looking shot. But this looks like poison. Looks like poison. Not Northern Lights, but poison. So, yeah, while I think compositionally this is fine, I think the lighting was not the best of choices. Nice and even light and so on. Some nuances in there, but the nuances are all weird. Yeah, this is 4.5 for me. Could have been done better on the lighting, but like I said, there are lots of positives about this too. 4.5. And next up is Adrienne PE, a returnee to the competition. And what do we have design-wise here? That is an excellent question, Kirob, because I don't see much design in this. Okay, it's super sleek. Like mega sleek. This looks like an eel or something. Do we want our sports cars to look like an eel? Not quite sure. Not quite sure. Probably not. That is... it has the mouth of an eel as well. Don't some eels also have some dots on the sides? I don't know. But yeah, this is a very simple design. Does the simple design work in this case? I would tend to argue no. this definitely errs on I err on the side of this is too simple. And that, nah, this doesn't work for me, mate. There's no badging either. There's nothing going on here. If you put in a little bit more attention to detail in some of the places, I think you get away with this kind of super sleek design. And I think that might work well. Do you even have a ways of opening the doors? Not quite sure about that. Anyway, design-wise, that doesn't work. 3.5. But what about the picture kill, Rob? Yes, the picture kill, Rob. I'm not a fan of the composition. It's showing the car, but this is a picture more of the kind you would find on eBay rather than in an art gallery. That's a harsh thing to say, maybe. I don't know. It's like, let's get on our knees and try to make a cool picture of the car, and then there's no composition whatsoever. Like, if the car starts there and ends there is basically no movement that can go on. It's like, yep, we have used all the image already, sir. I don't know where to go next. And I don't know. Doesn't quite work for me. It's too simple a shot. There's little going on. Looks like it's on a rooftop, but I don't see anything. There's just sky and some concrete. This is boring. It's boring. It's a 3. And next up is the entry by S31. And there we go. Looks a little potato-y on the aliasing, anti-aliasing. Even there is no anti-aliasing in this. It looks pretty awful. But let me give you a quick tip. You render this shit out at 4K, unless your computer crashes if you do. And then you just resize it, and you have anti-aliasing for free. That really works well. Try it out. That's in general something that I recommend to all contestants. Like, take your shots in 4K, and then you resize them from there. Or do all the editing in 4K, preferably, and then before you submit it, you resize it to 1080p. That way, you really can work out with more. You can work with more nuances. You have more data to go on, and that is just a benefit if your computer can handle it to take an image in that way. But you should be able to. Most computers can. All right, but anyway, that's image stuff. This car doesn't look like a sports car at all. This looks like a luxury cruiser with maybe some more horsepower than usual. A little bit. Squarish design with rounded edges. Yeah, can work, as we have seen before. But this light setup, not sure about that working. The yellow lights, not a fan of these in general, unless they are tastefully done. In this scene, they don't seem to work, and on the red, yeah, maybe. Some detail here and there. I quite like that you've put these on. They're little hinges, and not sure what this is supposed to be. It's just on one side, isn't it? Weird. Windscreen wipers, mirrors far to the front. I think that's a nice look. And the strong chromy line down the side, yeah, it works. I think it's not a bad design. It just doesn't look like a sports car. The rear, same story there. This looks like this is the convertible, and this isn't, I would think. This looks like a kind of luxury convertible. It's from France, so obviously it is a cruising car. There are no sports cars coming from France. oh mate. Oh shit, now people are triggered. So yeah, I think the design is solid, but it's definitely not a sports car. If you were in the design for a luxury car, I would probably give you a 6 here. Because it's good. It's a good luxury car. This is not a sports car, so you get a 4. What about the image? I think it's solid. It is solid. The highlights are a little too aggressive on these. I find, like, look at this part of the car and tell me what color it is. Like, what is the color of this car you see? Is it gray with a hint of rose? Or is this a red car? Like, that is not good. That just doesn't work. I know it's the photo scene that does this, and the paint shaders and whatnot, and maybe your lower settings than normal. It's not running on ultra, is it? But yeah, that doesn't work. It doesn't show the car in the best light. Well, quite literally in this sense. Compositionally, I think you have done very well. The size difference between this car and this car is spot on, showing them in different colors, showing off the different features. All very nice, good angle, black background, some nice reflections down. It's all solid. But the lighting... So while the setup and composition is good, I think that's a good aspect, I think the lighting kills it and gets it down to a 5. And many will know the next contestant. It is Der Bayer himself. He's one of the old guard coming back for competitions out of his hidey hole and delivering some quality here and there. It's nice to see. Welcome back. All right, so he's mentioned in an email he's a complete photo noob, so we shall help him out a little bit here. Car design, he's not a noob in that, and I think you can instantly see that. That is some finely crafted stuff. I really like the use of the grille that really fits with this part of the bumper. This all just fits together nicely in the front. There is a lot going on. It's a little on the side of too busy, but I think the elements are so in tune with each other that he kind of gets away with it. And it's a classic looking car instantly. Very nice subtle line along the side. A little bit of a vent going on there maybe, or is that a blinker? Windscreen wipers and all that good stuff. It just looks like like it's supposed to be this way, designed this way. So I think the design is really strong. I think the design is a 6.5. It's not quite very good on the front. It's almost there, and the sides are really good as well. So yeah, 6.5, almost a 7. All right. And now for the photo. Yeah. That's a very, like I said before, I should probably show you the fucking picture in larger form, shouldn't I? Should have done it from the start. Here you go. Hello there. That's the car. Now you can finally see it. Now that we talk about the picture. So always good to use corners as an anchoring point, which he does here. And that gives us a clear Dutch angle as well. Because you expect the road to be flat. So it's probably not in this scene, but definitely gives the impression. So, and that's a solid way of doing it. Compositionally, quite good. It's not placing the car in the settled place, which would be over here, but rather in the risque place, which is over there. So a little bit of a feel of adventure, so to say. I think it works. It's not too close to the corner or to the frame to not work. Lighting is a little flat but nuanced, especially in the background. I think you could have gone a little different on the sky. I think you see slightly too much sky. Maybe there's a little bit, and that could have been added on the bottom. But then again, you end up with the dilemma of, well, then the road isn't in the corner. I think, though, what I'm seeing here, especially in the background and the nuances in the car, I'm going to give this a quick edit myself. This is already an edited version, slightly edited. But I'm going to give this a quick edit myself. So I just roughly painted the car with a mask here for this and add some contrast, some exposure value and some clarity to it, as well as a bit of a temperature shift. You kind of want your cars to feel a little warmer if they supposedly are friendly. But let's take a look at what to do with the background. Or with the scene as a whole. Because we can make this a little friendlier. I think at +10, with the car already being there, somewhere around there. The spectrum here still looks pretty good. Can add a slight amount of contrast as well. And now, one of the tricks I like to do, especially landscapes, is add some vibrance that pushes up the nuances of the tonalities, and then remove some of the saturation to compensate the pushing of the saturation by the vibrance. And then you have a quite neat looking, it's a very nuanced difference there. But now, what I see in the background, in general, we can probably add a little bit of clarity. Well, what clarity is really a micro contrast filter. So it looks at it's basically a sharpness filter with a much larger radius. And that works wonders to work out some details in the background. And I think seeing this background, this kind of texturing, there is a lot of different nuances in colors in there. And when you see that, you can instantly go like, aha, I'm going to work out these nuances. And you can do that with a little trick. You have the luminance sliders here. And let's see. Oh, look at what we can do there. Do we want to go... Oh, the clouds are really coming out that way. I think I want to not go as high there. And now, what I want to do is split the tonalities and make some darker and some brighter so that the differences become larger. And probably can also work out the sky a bit more. Do we... That's the car. Oh, that starts to look real fancy. Oh, look at that. Yes. Where's the sky, though? I need to find the sky. Is it in the... Ah, there. It's in the magentas. Yep. Okay. Red. Oh, it's also a sky. Yeah, there we have the rest of the sky. You always need to look somewhere there. Okay, now, look at that. Look at that. I know this is a big tangent, but I think if you see before after, you see what I mean. That's a pretty solid difference, isn't it? Yeah. I quite like the edit. It's not perfect. I think that I've overdone a little bit on that filter. Could reduce it. A little bit too much clarity there. Let's drop it down to half, because we've added too much for the other image. But yeah, that's before and after. I think it's a solid edit. So I hope that is, despite the tangent and taking time, I think that was worth it. So there we apply it. And now let's look at the finished edit. Yes, quite nice. I think this would be a 7. Yeah. It's not stunningly brave with the composition and stuff, but it's very solid composition. And like now, like this, solid editing, of course. Like this, it's a solid shot. It's a 5. And next up is Infinity. Let's have a look at your car. If we spot it somewhere. It's very far to the corner. It's like, no, let me go. Let me go, good sir. Let me go. Design-wise, yeah, quite like your grid setup. Having these lights be... are these almost the same size, or are they exactly the same size? Can't make my mind up. It's a little weird. Very nice badging. Very nice badging. I like it. Yeah, it's overall really solid. Very much like the sides. Very straight through, and repeating this with the handlebars there. Handlebars? With the door opener. It's like a can opener, but for doors. Windscreen wipers. Not sure what that is. Some kind of asymmetrical venting. It's quite cool. Some cars back in the day sure had that. Overall, yeah, it's quite good. I think it's a good design. It's not something that really smashes my face in with awe, but yeah, you get a 6 for that. And now for the picture. I think the scene is good. The choice of scene is really good. I really like this curve here you are on, and the slight Dutch angle in the wrong direction. That is something that is worth talking about. Like, the Dutch angle here is this. If this is straight, this upper line, then this is your Dutch angle there. So it's a tilt in the wrong cambered direction. This makes the stance of the car feel weaker, or the image less settled. It's less stable. And that can be used for effect. It's neither good nor bad, just something that makes you feel a certain way about the image. If you had cambered it the other way, so that this line, which is there, goes this way instead, maybe not that much, then it would look a lot more stable and faster that way. Like more brutal. Yes, more manly. But yeah, like this. Also, car way too far to the sides, almost escaping the frame. This image would be perfect if you had a chase car, police car, just coming over the crest. Then that image and its composition would make perfect sense. But you haven't done that. So I have to downrate it. Or you have ghost cars which are following you, which I can't see, and thus I can't judge. It is because of the weird composition. It's pretty good lighting though. Pretty good lighting. I think it has good elements to it. And it's still a 5.5 despite its flaws. Oh yes, here we go. The winner of the last competition category, Esdem. And let's take a closer look what you have designed, good sir. Oh yes, I mean, holy shit, this looks so damn realistic. Is this a real car? You've just pasted in there, good sir. This is really good. The design. You do manage to keep it simple, while at the same time definitely not boring. Definitely not boring. Yeah, and the sides are real nice as well. I like the style you're going for. So this little detail down below, little details here along the edge, the side vent there, side lines, and the rear looks pristine. I'm making the big OK sign right now. And a little badging there. There's a lot of attention to detail in this. I really like it. This is strong. Is it quite super strong for the design? Oh, this is a hard one. It has everything it needs. Maybe the only thing I would point out here, which is a little negative, have you noticed that this looks a little droopy? The eyes look slightly droopy, as if they are ever so slightly low in the framing. But it's such a nuance. Like, most of you are going like, what the fuck are you talking about, Kiro? I don't see shit there. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm trying to find faults with this, okay? It's hard. But yeah, it's a really good design. I think it's not quite as striking as the last, but almost there. It's a 7.5. And now for the image. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Going for a realistic photo style. Background very much blown out. Or, well, it's supposed to look a little blown out. I think there's you said there was a composite image as well. Let's I can't. Didn't save the original for that. Let me see. No, but I'm pretty sure there was a composite of two images with different brightness settings or exposure settings. So from one image is all the background and foreground, and from the other image are the cars, and that makes perfect sense to do it that way. Very strong positioning for the cars in general. Like the setup over here, or in the middle part of the frame, is really strong. But this car, looking at this car and then this car leading forwards once again. It all neatly fits together while not being overburdening or too close. So really good, really good. Also, that the wheels are angled in here is quite important for this car to feel like it looks in this direction. And thus focuses the eyes, make the eyes more go to the butt end of this car. And from there, following the lines of the car forward and discovering detail. So that's very nice. What have we got for the foreground? Very, very low angle. Works here. There's plenty of decent detail in the wet canal scene to do so. I think this works very well, although... despite the really harsh lighting you chose. So I like this as a lead-in. I was at first a little worried about the composition with regards to how much sky you have here where nothing happens, but this whole scene feels so settled with how the composition is set up for the cars and the lead-in, how that works. I think this is quite much required as breathing space. And also you went for this old photo effect, the graininess, and without the graininess, this stuff would be way too much negative space and wouldn't work. Of course you need to look at the... and I would be not painting squiggles, but like dicks in the sky again. Like that's a thing, as you know. But I think here it works with the effect you have chosen. And in this scene specifically, because of how you set up the cars. Lighting of the cars is fantastic. Like this side lighting here, spot on. It looks so realistic. It looks so damn realistic. Yeah, this is really good. From just looking at the image in small, I was like, nah, it's okay. It's okay, but looking at it in detail, holy shit, this is good. I think this is an 8. Yeah, I think this is an 8. Is it? Is it? Yeah, I think, like, with how damn realistic you made this car look, I think this is an 8. Yeah, let's put it down. Awesome job. And the last entry for this first part of the judging of the second category is by Trife. And it is an unedited picture. And let's take a look. You were accompanied by an earthquake, which is always a nice feat, although not that rare in New Zealand. We have... interesting, you chose to show the butt of the car first. I don't mind. The front? Yeah, it looks more... It doesn't quite look like a sports car, but it's not far off. More like a premium. Don't know what makes it. Maybe the little lights here. But yeah, I don't know. I quite like the look of it. It seems to have everything it needs. Very solid design. Let's judge the rear as well. Let's see, you have chosen this double line around here. That would also have worked better if you actually exported it in 4K and then scaled down. That would get rid of all the jaggedness you're experiencing there. But I think the rear works. Nice flaring of this central chromy bar with the Jupiter on top. That works really well. Oh, and screen wiper in the rear too. Well done. All around, I quite like the design. It's definitely more than solid. Quite a bit of work has gone into this, and I appreciate the effort. Nice badging there. Going for asymmetrical badging. We have the the engine over there. Yes, I believe so. Okay. Yeah, some nice venting and all around. Overall, this is a good one. Good one means it's a 6. And now for the image. Well, I think you know what's coming next. And oh, that's a thick one. I think he will have some issues. So we have the great dick in the sky, and on top of that, well, why am I painting these? Well, a completely blown out sky that works in some instances, but this is creating a lot of what they call negative space, and is that compensated for by the others? Not by big dicks, but by the other elements in the picture. Your foreground looks fantastic. Like, look at this shit. Looks awesome. So why not show a little bit more of that and less of the dicks in the sky? Yeah. But also, one thing that I do not like is how close the cars are there. They are almost merging. I think that should have been a little bit more distance. I see why you did it, because it's already... you don't have plenty of space there left. Like, if this car moves any further that way, then it's falling off a cliff or something. But, yeah. Other than that, lighting, pretty good apart from the dicks in the sky. This is a little over the top. So I would have tried to tone that down a bit by angling or changing the direction of the sun, but overall I quite like it. It's a strong setup you're showing here, and it's a little different with the butt being the main focus here. Yeah, it's quite a good one. It's quite a good one. Not stunning, but quite a good one, and it's definitely better than solid. This would stick out to normal automation people as like, oh yeah, okay, that's a good one. And if I say it's a good one, then it's a good one. It's a 6. And that concludes the first part of the judging, and I shall be back with the later half of the contestants very soon. So I hope you enjoyed, and I tried to be more concise on the slightly worse entries. It's hard though, I always find tangents to go on. So I shall try to improve that further in the upcoming parts. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.